Being a 90s kid, my favorite superhero was always Batman. I grew up watching Batman 1989, Batman the Animated Series, Batman Forever, yes, I actually like Batman Forever, and maybe my favorite out of all of them, Mask of the Phantasm. Hey you, Batman and Robin, I see you. You get out of here. Nobody wants you around. Shoo. I always really loved all the major aspects about Batman. The dark and broody nature, the sad backstory. Most of his villains are super interesting. The detective work, and bringing vigilante justice to the seedy underbelly of Gotham City. I never really had a game that encompassed all the things that I loved about Batman, and wrapped it up into one whole, fully interactive experience. But in 2009, a developer named Rocksteady Studios released a game called Batman Arkham Asylum, and I would get to don the cowl of my favorite Caped Crusader and see if Rocksteady's game could live up to the tagline of, "Be the Batman." In Arkham Asylum, the Joker has just attacked Gotham City Hall and has been apprehended by Batman. Batman proceeds to the infamous Arkham Asylum, where the Joker is to be received. I've always loved this very first opening scene. The fact that Batman accompanies Joker into Arkham Asylum is perfect. He knows that the Joker is up to something.
Warden, something's not right. I'm going with him.
Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy's banter is just absolutely golden. They really are the embodiment of the Joker and Batman. Of course, as you'd expect, next the Joker breaks free. During the Joker's breakout and throughout the game, you'll deal with some of Batman's most heinous villains, whom Joker has broken free, and seek to make Batman pay for capturing them. Batman's goal in Arkham Asylum? Find out what the Joker is up to, and bring all the convicts back to their steel homes, with a smile on your face. Once Arkham Asylum gives you the reins, the first thing you immediately notice is Batman's power walk. I know that sounds like something small, but he just moves around with such purpose, and when he transitions to a run, you know he means business. Traversing is also really smooth, along with help from the grapple hook, and one thing I will say, looking back on after playing all of the other Arkham games, the gliding in Arkham Asylum definitely feels a little bit more limited and feels more natural in the later games. But again, that's with hindsight. Anyone playing this game for the first time won't notice. Now, I'm pretty sure Arkham Asylum didn't invent its combat system, which is dubbed the free flow combat system, but I do think that it definitely popularized it, leading to later games utilizing the system. Games such as, first off, all the games in the Arkham series. That would mean Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and Arkham Origins. And a few other games that have a very similar system: Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, and Mad Max. The foundation of the combat system is attack, counter-attacking, lots of movement, and combos, and using your bat gadgets interspersed. The more hits you land without being hit builds up your combo multiplier, and hitting certain tiers within your combo multiplier allows you to perform certain combos that you've unlocked throughout the game within the combat. Throughout the game you'll face many common thugs, but with the help of a Dr. Young, the Joker will introduce mutated henchmen to battle you. These henchmen are created with Venom, the chemical acquired from Bane, who uses it to gain his incredible strength.
I thought he broke out of Blackgate.
Cut me down. Who did this to you?
On the other side of the flat-out brawling combat sections, there's many stealth sections spread out throughout the game, which are a nice change of pace to the bare-knuckle brawling. Something about moving around in the ventilation system, using your detective mode to see enemies with their guns, or just see how many enemies are in an area, just seems so Batman. Picking off enemies one by one and hearing their partners cower in fear and freak out because they can hear the Joker criticizing them over the intercoms, or wonder when they'll be next, while you're waiting in the back in the shadows, just feels great. What makes these stealth sections really work are the environments themselves, all very diverse and in large quantity all over Arkham Asylum. Upon gaining their freedom from the Joker, many of Batman's arch-rivals choose specific areas of Arkham Asylum as their home, places that closely resemble something familiar to them. You first come into contact with the Scarecrow in the medical facility. Being the former Dr. Jonathan Crane, his fascination with fear and with the use of his fear gas, drawing Batman to the medical facility, seems like a great way for him to test his experiment out. The few interactions with Scarecrow in the game are pretty mind-bending and trippy. Making Batman come face-to-face with his dead parents and trying to deal with their loss, or reliving the day Joe Chill gunned down his parents, are pretty sinister, but you can tell from Scarecrow's vantage point how interesting that would be to mess with Batman. Most of these Scarecrow sections lead into a fairly basic but interesting platforming section involving Scarecrow. One of my favorite Scarecrow moments when I first played the game made me think that my game had crashed and broke, and is now something that I always look forward to whenever I play the game again. The battle with Bane is simple but still fun. He's basically just another mutated henchman who throws a couple waves of his cronies at you. The penitentiary, where Arkham's most dangerous prisoners are held, is where Harley Quinn takes Warden Quincy Sharp. She's most likely most comfortable with this area because it's probably where the Joker was able to manipulate her as her former self, Dr. Harleen Quinzel. Both of your battles with Harley Quinn are fairly simple. She throws a few hordes of enemies at you and that's about it. You never really do battle with her. Killer Croc is held in a kind of ridiculous, but cool, sewer prison underneath Arkham Island. Batman ventures into the sewers to retrieve a spore. Whenever I think of Arkham Asylum, the Killer Croc section is always the one I think of first. It's not necessarily my favorite, but to me it's one of the more memorable sections in the game. It's kinda just vastly different than everything else you're doing. Sending Croc back to the depths with a batarang to the shot collar, I always thought was just kinda cool. At a later point in the game, the Joker gives Poison Ivy a shot of Titan formula. Acting as spinach to Popeye, the Titan formula makes her and her plants grow to enormous size and completely takes over Arkham Island. Using the Titan Spore antidote retrieved from Killer Croc's lair, Batman enters the Botanical Gardens to give the antidote to Poison Ivy to prevent her plants from reaching Gotham City. I would say my biggest problem with the battle with Poison Ivy and her plant-like mech is after playing this section several times, it's maybe the easiest boss battle in the whole game. I mean, once you get the rhythm of the battle down, can't remember the last time I played this section and actually was hit and didn't finish it in under a minute. At the game's resolution, accompanied by fireworks, the Joker invites you to a party. At the entrance, you're welcomed by Joker's henchmen. Now you can ignore all of Joker's henchmen and walk simply straight into the game's final two battles, but I don't think I've done that in any of my many playthroughs of this game. I guess I just don't like being welcomed to events. The game culminates in hilarious fashion, with the Joker committing Titan formula gun suicide. Becoming a Titan monster himself, you and the Joker battle it out on top of the penitentiary. When I first played the game, I remember not really liking this end confrontation with Joker. Something about it just seemed kind of corny, and I don't know, for some reason I didn't like it. Upon many other playthroughs, I've come to actually like the ending. It does seem very Joker to try and defeat Batman on top of a rooftop, with Jack Ryder recording him for the entire world to see Batman's demise. Earlier on in the game, the Riddler will make contact with Batman and tell him about riddles he's left all over Arkham Asylum that need to be solved. Each riddle solved or picked up gets Batman one step closer to finding out where the Riddler's location is. The riddles, Riddler trophies, Arkham signs, and audio tapes are my favorite part about Arkham Asylum. Not because of the items themselves, but because of what they all lead to. The riddles and trophies that you accumulate throughout the game unlock character trophies that are essentially just the models used for the characters in the game. But more importantly, the trophies and riddles unlock really cool character bios. Each bio has a beautifully hand-drawn model of its character and super detailed description of every aspect of that villain or good guy. You've got some super interesting deep Batman cuts for some of the riddles. References to Firefly, Thomas Elliot or Hush, Catwoman, the Ratcatcher, and Ra's al Ghul, and many more. There's also these Arkham insignias spread out all over Arkham Asylum, where every time you scan one it unlocks an audio log that will reveal who the spirit of Amadeus Arkham, the creator of Arkham Island, is. Ever since my first playthrough of Arkham Asylum, I've always really disliked these Arkham insignias and their collecting because the voice in the audio logs is so very clearly Warden Quincy Sharp. It honestly would have made it more interesting if they did something to the voice to change it up, but no, it's just his voice.
I trust that through my writings you will do what is right.
My favorite collectibles in the game are most definitely the audio tapes that you find throughout the game. The voice acting in Arkham Asylum is just absolutely perfect, so being able to fixate on the actors and hear them do their thing, for me is just so incredibly enjoyable. It's definitely my favorite part of the game. So needless to say, I love Arkham Asylum. It had everything I wanted in a Batman experience. But somehow 2 years later, Rocksteady would outdo themselves and make a game that arguably is better than Arkham Asylum. I used to think Arkham Asylum was the better game, and I held steadfast to that for a long time, but I'll drop that and leave it to a later review. So yeah, I normally try and play Arkham Asylum once a year, and will continue to do so, and very much look forward to playing the game again next year. Tell us how you feel, Conroy.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Hey guys, Chasman here. Just want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you like my content and you want additional stuff, don't forget to go to my Patreon, enter _Chasman. Thanks for watching. I love you. Be safe.